see quite prolonged clear skies at times, but outbreaks of quite heavy rain at times across northwestern Scotland set to continue. But what you will notice, it is set to be quite a mild night. Many towns and cities across the south not really dropping much past 14 to 15 degrees Celsius. Then to start off in the morning across Scotland, it is going to be unsettled. Still those blustery winds continuing, particularly around exposed coasts, and some quite heavy showers at times too, once again mainly across northern Scotland. Northern Ireland may pick up the odd shower or two, but across the rest of England and Wales, it should be mostly dry and bright. There may be some patchy cloud around, particularly across parts of Devon and Cornwall, parts of Wales and western areas of England. But that should lift and clear through the morning, leaving to plenty of sunny spells by the afternoon. But once again, a very different story across Scotland. Plenty of cloud here, some heavy outbreaks of rain, and still those strong winds around exposed coastal sites. But elsewhere, England and Wales, plenty of sunshine. And temperatures will be up by a degree or two, so feeling warm. Highs of around 25, possibly even a localised 26 degrees Celsius. Heading into Saturday, once again, much of England and Wales will see a rather settled day, but we do have this system slowly edging its way southeastwards. Once again, it could be quite blustery here with some showery outbreaks of rain, but any showers largely fizzling away, so many of us seeing a dry and bright start to the weekend. And that theme is set to continue, and temperatures are on the up. Possible heatwave conditions early next week, but otherwise, that is it from me. Bye-bye.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Sparkling set of front pages for you here. The Daily Mail. Minister for Hypocrisy is forced to quit. This is, of course, the homelessness minister who is now out on her backside, politically speaking. Apparently, Rachel Reeves' economic plans have been tarnished. That's on the front of the Eye. There's a pill for weight loss now. You don't even have to take a jab anymore. You can just take a pill. That stops you wanting to eat. There's all of that, as well as the Sun have identified 3 separate asylum hotels on the seafront in Bournemouth, and they go for asylum seasiders. All of that and much more. Stay tuned.
This is your chance to live mortgage or rent-free for an entire year. We'll give you a cash lump sum that will cover 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, up to an incredible £20,000. Plus, we'll add £5,000 on top of that for you to treat yourself. You have to hurry though, as lines will close on the 29th of August. For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
This is Britain's Newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I ever got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
And
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome along to Patrick Christys Tonight Late Edition. What's on the front of the Daily Mail? Well, the Minister for Hypocrisy is forced to quit. Labour's homelessness minister decided to essentially make her tenants homeless, not quite, but there or thereabouts, and then hike the rent. You can't go around doing things like that. This story on The Sun, though, is an absolute whopper. The Sun have managed to track down not one, not two, but 3 migrant hotels on the beachside of Bournemouth, a huge tourist hotspot, one of the best beaches in Britain, actually, a place where tourists would go and spend their money, especially right now during the peak summer season. But you can't, because a load of blokes from Eritrea, Afghanistan and Sudan have got there before you. Spoiler alert, though, you're still paying for them as well. Also,
we want to liberate ourselves and liberate the people of Gaza from the awful terror of Hamas.
yeah, this is very much an ongoing situation at the moment, literally in Israel, actually, because there are protests taking place at the minute. Benjamin Netanyahu says that Israel intends to take full control of Gaza. And a Trump-Putin summit is back on the table, and it could happen within days. But where is it going to happen? Will Zelensky be there? What will actually go, well, or indeed catastrophically wrong? And this is the moment, as well, that a son found out that his dad won the lottery.
Oh, you're joking. You're joking. You're lying. My life.
I've got a really heartwarming, longer version of that clip to bring you very shortly. Well, joining us this evening is political commentator Andy Twelves, comedian Lewis Schaefer and Reform councillor for Essex Jamie McIver. But first, let's get those headlines.
Very good evening to you from the newsroom. The top story tonight. Well, Conservative Party Chairman Kevin Hollinrake has accused the Prime Minister of presiding over what he described as a government of hypocrisy and self-service. It's after Labour's homelessness minister has tonight resigned after being accused of hiking rent on her own tenants. Rushanara Ali stepped down following claims she raised rent by hundreds of pounds just weeks after ending her previous tenant's contract. In her resignation letter, Ali insisted she followed all legal requirements, but admitted staying on would be a distraction from the government's work. Sir Keir Starmer has thanked her for her diligent work and said her legacy would leave a lasting impact. Ali will return, though, to the backbenches, continuing to serve constituents in Bethnal Green and in Stepney. The Bank of England has cut interest rates today to now 4%, the lowest level in more than 2 years, but only after a razor-thin vote. It's the 5th cut since last August and will bring relief to some mortgage holders, but savers could see smaller returns. The Governor has called the move finely balanced and warned that future cuts will be gradual and careful. Inflation is now also expected to peak at 4% in September, double the bank's target, while GDP growth has, all but stalled. Well, with economists warning the chances of another rate drop this year are fading fast, Chancellor Rachel Reeves is standing firm, saying that today's news is welcome.
Interest rates have now come down 5 times since Labour came to office, in part because of the stability that we've managed to return to the economy after the chopping and changing, the mini-budget under the Conservatives and Liz Truss. And what that means, that 5th cut in interest rates, is that if you're taking out a mortgage for £215,000, you're going to be paying on a variable rate around £140 less a month than when we came to office just over a year ago. So this is good news for people wanting to get on the housing ladder, people remortgaging, and also businesses borrowing to grow.
The UK's new one-in, one-out migrant deal with France is officially underway. The first Channel arrivals are now in detention. Footage showed migrants today in life jackets disembarking in Dover just hours after the scheme came into force. It will last for 11 months and means that every illegal arrival could see one approved asylum seeker brought in via a safe route. Critics, though, say it doesn't go far enough. Home Secretary Yvette Cooper, though, says no one should be in any doubt. New arrivals, she says, will face immediate detention and possible return to France.
Well, the pilot has now begun, and the first migrants who arrived on small boat are now in detention. That is the first step to removing them to France, because no one should be making this journey in the first place, and that's why this is now starting the process to return people and to undermine this vile trade in people. We won't provide operational details at this point that criminal gangs can simply use and exploit, but no one should be in any doubt, anyone who arrives from now on is eligible for immediate detention and return, and this pilot will now build because we are determined that no one should be making this journey.
Reports tonight in Israel of serious disagreement and opposition to the Prime Minister's push for full military takeover of Gaza. Benjamin Netanyahu has been meeting his security cabinet tonight to seek approval for a phased reoccupation plan he says is the only way to remove Hamas. But the United Nations, international allies and families of Israeli hostages fear that move could cost innocent lives and derail rescue efforts. Reports are suggesting that plan would begin with mass evacuations from Gaza City, followed then by military operations and a 5-month push to regain control. And the first people have been charged under terror laws for supporting Palestine Action, now officially banned in the UK. 2 women and a man were arrested in a protest in London last month. All 3 now face charges under the Terrorism Act. It comes ahead of fresh protests this weekend. Police in London are warning anyone showing support for that group can expect to be arrested. The Met Police says it's also preparing to send case files for 26 others arrested on the same day. That's the news on GB News. Plenty more still to come right here. Don't go anywhere.
Tune into GB News Radio wherever you are. Online, on DAB digital radio, on TuneIn, on Radio Player and on your smart speaker. Just say, play GB News.
Welcome back to Late Edition. Let's whiz you through all of Friday's newspaper front pages, starting with the Daily Telegraph. Minister resigns over rental hypocrisy. This is the now former homelessness minister who's had to go because she evicted tenants and then ramped up the rent, which I think is something Labour are looking to make illegal. The picture story there is quite interesting. Guardsman Shireen de Stadler left, is reunited with junior soldier Chloe de Stadler, her daughter, after they both graduated from the Army Foundation College at Harrogate within weeks of each other. That's quite nice, isn't it? There we are. The Independent. Surge in household costs put Reeves's growth plan at risk. Apparently, interest rates cut to lowest in 2 years. However, the Bank of England warns that inflation will rise again to as high as 5.5% on food and drink. And this basically just completely shoots Keir Starmer in the foot, who yesterday said that his big thing now is going to be increasing people's living standards. Well, you know, that's that, isn't it? The Daily Express, pill for weight loss on the NHS. Experts hope that this exciting appetite-reducing drug could be available from next year. The Metro. It's a human interest story here. He's our brave little miracle, and this is a young lad called Connor, who was diagnosed with a 1 in a million defect. He was born with it, actually, but now has a 99%... it is now 99% cured after surgeons came up with a novel technique. The iPaper. UK's Minister for Homelessness quits. She's caught ejecting tenants and hiking rent. I mean, the Daily Mail take a more Route 1 approach to this, which is Minister for Hypocrisy is forced to quit. The story that's at the bottom right there is nuts, which is businessman in relationship with daughter-in-law tried to drown her on holiday. So that's got a lot going on there, hasn't it? The Guardian, Netanyahu defies warnings over taking military control of all Gaza. We're going to play you some clips a little bit later on of basically the fallout to this amongst some protesters in Israel. The Mirror, weight loss pills on the NHS. The same story that as one of the other newspapers, The Times. Single-sex spaces off limits to trans women. Schools, hospitals, leisure centres and cinemas will be told to ban transgender women from using single-sex spaces, including toilets and changing rooms, under Equality's guidance to be submitted to ministers this month. Well, this is interesting because this is going to really annoy the left on... it's on The Times, this, yeah. It's really going to annoy the left of Sir Keir Starmer's party. It's going to annoy the Gaza gang, and it could potentially be seen as a bid to outflank Reform, who have recently got into a little bit of hot water by being slightly squiffy on it. But The Sun, asylum seasiders, and this is almost starting on track, so here we go. Prime beach hotels are housing migrants. Holidaymakers in Bournemouth say they're fed up of forking out thousands of pounds while migrants are put up for free 200 metres from the seafront. It's holiday season. You know, we want people to be spending their money in British seaside towns, and here we are. You can't book a room in, I believe it's 3 different hotels in Brighton because, in Bournemouth, because they're full of asylum seekers. I mean, it's a bit of a shocker, this, Jamie, isn't it, really?
Well, I just think this is just the continuous insult to the British people, time and time again. I've got it in my own community where I live, but this is just takes it to another level, doesn't it? You know, what, you're going to spend your 40-odd quid a week in the arcade next? You know, this is just becoming a constant battle for the British people. How much patience are they supposed to have with the unfairness here? Earlier on in your programme, there's, you know, veterans who have served this country being booted out, yet we are able to... You know, I was in Westminster Station the other day, and a man said, for £25, you can put a homeless veteran somewhere safe to sleep tonight. So obviously, I did it, no problem at all. £250 we pay a night for these people. And this is just why people have zero faith in politics at the moment, because this is just unfairness on a scale that we've never seen.
But it's also costing money, and it'll cost money to people in Bournemouth. It's one thing having one hotel, and by the way, I think that's one too many, don't get me wrong, but to have 3 at one of Britain's busiest and, let's be honest, nicest seaside resorts. It's the Britannia Hotel, the Chine Hotel, the Roundhouse Hotel, with a combined total, just doing quick maths in my head here, of roughly speaking 250 hotel rooms that have just gone to these people when you can't book. You know, what the damage that must be doing to the local economy.
Well, any economy. I tried to... Just the other day, I was looking for a room down there. It was like £160 for, like, one of those £35 cheapo, horrible bed and breakfast type places. The country, you know this.
Yeah.
They don't know this, or at least that one guy over there doesn't know this, that the country's being ruined and that people should be screaming. He's from Reform. He's making a nice little joke, like, what's his name? Nigel Farage does. Everything is like, this is like a show. People should be... I'm going to start screaming, you know.
Come on, scream.
The country is being ruined. Is actually being ruined. It's not like a battle between left and right and we're all on the same page, we all love England, and that nice places are going to always be here. It's not. It's horrible. That guy over there, Andy, should apologise.
Well, for what? Go on.
Because you support the Labour government, which has done nothing about this. And they have done nothing about this. I don't even know whether you should apologise or not, but just apologise anyway.
I think, you know...
That's what the people want.
I mean, you know, the Labour government isn't the government that enabled this to happen. It was the Tories. You know, they were in power for 14 years and they allowed this situation to start.
That's a lie. That is an absolute lie. The fact is, this is something that the Labour... Remember what the L stands for in Labour, which is lie. Everything...
Oh, no, they've got you.
Body knows that he's talking absolute rubbish. Body knows that he's talking absolute rubbish.
I can finish what you were going to say, which is they lie, and you're right, because actually this is a Tony Blair legacy. And then the Tories did nothing to do it any right. This is what happened when you have uncontrolled borders and you've had consecutive governments fail to deal with it.
Not even uncontrolled. They want people to come into the country. They hate the British people. The left do, and the Tories too. And who knows? Sorry.
No, the only reason I'm interrupting you is because I want to reveal this. So this was the Sun's front page about Simon Seaside. So I thought, let's try and book a room in Bournemouth for this weekend. I'm just doing it on my laptop now. I mean, there are some really, really crappy-looking B&Bs here.
Yeah.
228 quid a night, one of them. And then, I mean, obviously it's like 400 quid a night at the Hilton. But, I mean, all of these hotels, 230 quid, 218 quid, 225 quid, 326 quid, 259 quid, goes on and on and on and on. And in 3 of these hotels in Bournemouth, illegal immigrants are living for free. I mean, this is just nuts. Surely, even you must think this is nuts.
Yeah, Make him apologise.
I agree it's wrong. I agree it's wrong. But I mean, what else do you want to do?
They do it in America. In America, they don't even have an English channel. They've got a border flat onto Mexico, and they've stopped the people from coming in. But because of Keir Starmer, who's like pretending to be an idiot. He's not an idiot. He's just like a puppet. And the same thing with the Tories too. And the same thing with reform. Should be screaming. It should be screaming. Sorry.
Joe, I could easily scream, and I could scream very loud.
Yes.
I speak to people all the time, working people that are doing everything they can to keep their own head above waters financially, and they see the government wasting this money. But, you know, I think the saddest thing is I think of the local economy. I think of the people that used to sell ice creams there. I think of people that probably work really hard all year to save up, to take the kids to Bournemouth for the weekend, that now can't afford to do it. I think of all of those people. But the cultural fabric of our country being damaged by the
It's being destroyed.
To control our
It's
borders.
being actually... I've been here for
Let's let Andy in, because Labour are claiming that they are going to stop every single one of these hotels by the end of the next Parliament. Do you think they will?
I think they've got a decent shot at it. I think, you know, you've got to get rid of the backlog. I don't think that they should be put up for free in hotels, but, like, where else are you going to put them?
The ship should be turned around, and they should be sent back to Eritrea or Somalia.
So even if the Labour government does do that, if they stop every new boat coming today, there's still a massive backlog of people who are in the hotels. The people who are in hotels have been there for months.
And they should be
around the country.
They should be dragged out of the hotels, and anybody who is not who is here illegally.
Legal due process, because we do.
No, they don't have rights because they're here illegally.
That's not true.
That is totally true.
They're also not British citizens.
They're not British citizens.
So British citizens don't.
So somebody comes into the country.
Someone who's here on a visa doesn't have rights in the country.
They have rights to visit the country.
It says here. You don't have rights in the country.
That. What I will say is they've broken into the country. They've broken the law. They're illegals.
They're illegals.
They're illegally here.
They should be kicked out.
Like criminals.
Even criminals have rights.
No, they don't.
I mean, you had a criminal MP, didn't you? James McMurdoch. Did he have rights?
Criminals get a sentence. If you enter the country illegally, you should be sent back. That should be a sentence.
Or you could become a reform MP if
you know that's
criminal
rubbish.
record.
You can't compare the two. But
Well, no,
he
got done for beating up his missus, didn't he? So, you know, that's OK. You can
how you're relating this story to that, I don't know. But the point is, people that enter the country illegally need to be sent back, period.
It's because they've broken the law.
Break the law as you enter. You should be treated as a criminal. At the moment, you're allowed to walk the streets.
They're not criminals. They're illegal aliens in this country, as far as I know.
All right. Well, we can move on. That was, I thought, the spiciest front page, and it turned out to be, didn't it? So there you are. But coming up, I am quite surprised. Oh, it is on a couple of front pages, actually. It's just not the lead story. The Times: Israel could cut security ties if Starmer recognises Palestine. Yeah, OK, that's not the one I was thinking it was. The Guardian, there it is. Netanyahu defies warnings, over taking military control of all Gaza. So there are protests currently taking place. Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to essentially eradicate Gaza. Big moment there. Stay tuned.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters. Real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact that Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
I'm Michelle Dewberry, and this is GB News.
The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
Oh, yes, I've got a bit of an update on this. So, you know, Steve Jobs' daughter is getting married this weekend. We talked about it earlier on in the week.
Yes,
Eve Jobs.
They're hiring the entire Cotswolds.
Yeah, we've got more details now.
Oh.
They're taking over the village of Great Chew. And apparently the budget is said to be $5 million. Could be a lot more, though.
$5 million?
Yeah,
because the papers were saying 50 million the other day.
$5 million could be higher. For them. But the high-end guest list includes Kamala Harris, Bono, the Kardashians and Princess Beatrice. Rumours as well that David Cameron's been invited.
Oh. But they can't know all these people.
They've invited 500 people. So it's a big wedding.
It's just like...
Apparently the village is in lockdown.
No, it will be.
Yeah, and they're going to Estelle Manor afterwards, which is a big, like, Jacobean manor house in the Cotswolds. Oh. And they've got sniffer dogs out already.
Wow.
It's incredible.
Of all those people, I bet they only know Bono.
But didn't you think
everybody knows Bono, don't they? Well, no, but at least he was involved with Apple. He must have known Steve Jobs.
Was he involved with Apple?
Yeah, because they had all the. Do you remember they had the U2 exclusive iPods? And
oh,
things
of course. Yeah.
So he must have known. So he probably knew her as a kid.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to give away Apple products.
Probably.
Oh yeah. You know the good. You know the.
It's a goodie bag. You'll get a goodie bag.
At the end, yeah, like an iPad or
a goodie bag at your wedding.
Or a MacBook. I know, but you had the free-flowing rosé, which you don't drink.
I don't drink.
Anyway. Did you not try the non-alcoholic version?
Of rosé?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was one.
I covered all fronts.
I didn't know there was one.
Oh, well, you missed out.
I had some non-alcoholic beers.
Well, good. I did provide.
GB News, the People's Channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Welcome back. So Israel's Prime Minister is pushing for a full military takeover of Gaza, despite warnings of, quote, catastrophic consequences. So that was protests that are taking place at the moment, currently in Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu is meeting his security cabinet this evening to seek approval for a phased reoccupation plan. He says it's the only way to remove Hamas and to liberate the people of Gaza. He spoke earlier.
We intend to, in order to assure our security, remove Hamas there, enable the population to be free of Gaza, and to pass it to civilian governance. That is not Hamas and not anyone advocating the destruction of Israel. That's what we want to do. We want to liberate ourselves and liberate the people of Gaza from the awful terror of Hamas.
Well, I'm joined now, before I go to my panel, by political commentator Theo Usherwood. Theo, thank you very, very much. A bit conflicted over this. I mean, there is a school of thought that says that this might be quite an elegant solution, which is that it gets rid of Hamas, and if we believe Benjamin Netanyahu, of course, then, you know, allows a territory that can be policed by an Arab force to act as some kind of large humanitarian zone for the people of Gaza. Well, what do you make of it?
I think it's important, good evening, Patrick, just to put this into perspective. What Benjamin Netanyahu is saying categorically is that he doesn't want Israel. The aim of this military action isn't for Israel to take over Gaza wholesale and to for Israel to, in effect, bring Gaza within Israel's territory and within its purview. What he is saying, and you listen to that interview with Fox News, is that he wants to send in Israel's defense forces to remove Hamas on the ground, and this is, it is controversial, and then to ensure that Gaza is free to be run with the governance and support of friendly Arab nations. So you could draw into that Jordan, you could draw into that Egypt, and that those Arab countries come together, and they would ensure the governance of Gaza without Hamas being involved at all. And Netanyahu has a point in that, Hamas has said it committed, obviously, the atrocities of October the 7th, and every day since October the 7th, it says it is seeking the destruction of Israel. And it's impossible for Netanyahu, and this is the belief within the Israeli government, to see a return to Israel, to Gaza, run by Hamas, which remains as a neighbor of Israel, which wants to see the destruction of Israel. And therefore, this is seen, as you rightly say, in some quarters, as a fairly neat solution. I also think it makes a complete mockery of what Keir Starmer was only announced last week, when he said that that Britain would recognise the state of Palestine unless Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel committed to a ceasefire. The Prime Minister has been made to look stupid because, of course, he's made this demand And then Netanyahu, has he agreed a ceasefire? Far from it. He's ordered a military invasion into Gaza to completely rid it of Hamas. And you mentioned, I just noticed the Times front page story, and that's really important as well, because that links into this. Because what Israel is saying is, you recognize Palestine as a state, and that could have far-reaching implications on Israel's relationship with the United Kingdom. Tensions are already high. Israel is a friendly nation. It is an ally of this country. And their intelligence services have time and time again provided our intelligence services with plots in the Middle East to bring terror to this country. They have supported us as we have worked. Our special forces and our intelligence services have worked as what is known as upstream. They've worked in, across the Middle East to root out plots that could see British interests not just targeted in the Middle East and abroad, but particularly terrorism brought to this country. And if Keir Starmer, the warning from that front page story is important, because if Keir Starmer ploughs ahead and recognises the state of Palestine, because let's face it, of consternation amongst his own Labour-backed benchers about what's happening in Gaza at the moment, he would effectively, the warning goes, be putting the safety of British citizens at risk if we suddenly compromise our relationship with Israel.
Theo, look, thank you very, very much. I thought I'd let you go there, really, because I thought you were summing up very nicely. It's a tremendous to have you on the show. Take care. It's Theo Ashwood, the political commentator. Yeah, I mean, Lewis, what do you make of the idea that Benjamin Netanyahu plans to essentially occupy Gaza, at least for a bit, all of it, and completely eradicate Hamas before handing it over to some kind of friendly Arab state to look after?
Well, is that a real thing, a friendly Arab state? I mean, they don't like Israel, and they're being nice to Israel right now. They don't like the Palestinians. So is that a friendly state? The fact is, here's the most important thing to remember, is that Hamas still has 50 hostages, Jewish, Israeli hostages, 50 of them. So you got to go in there and do what's necessary. If they just gave them up, maybe there could be some kind of peace. And Hamas, nobody likes Hamas anywhere.
Well, quite a few Palestinians do like Hamas.
Yes, but number one, this country should not like Hamas. If you like Hamas, you're an anti-Semite. You hate Jews if you like Hamas, because they hate Jews.
Yeah, go on then. So, Andy, what do you think about Benjamin Netanyahu's plan, which seems to be deemed by some people to be quite controversial?
I think he probably shouldn't be making security plans on Fox News. To be honest, I think these things should be much better thought out and done by press release than they're not misconstrued. I mean, that was off the back of a question of a reporter. I don't think massive decisions should be taken in live interviews. I think this isn't good at all. He's constantly said, oh no, we're only doing it as a revenge of October 7th. We're doing it to eradicate Hamas. We're not going to occupy. We're going to keep Palestinian sovereignty in Gaza. But now he wants to occupy Gaza.
Well, what would you, can I ask, what would you do? What would you do when you've got an enemy of not only the people that are living there, and maybe even the people that live there are not enemies with Hamas? What would you do with Hamas? What would you do with the Palestinians who want the death of Israel? What would you do?
I think,
You don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't create a famine in Gaza.
Of course.
I wouldn't bomb hospitals and schools and civilian areas.
No, of course you wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't, because you have no clue what the story is. The story is.
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone should be bombing.
Well, that's exactly.
They're not bombing hospitals. They are. They are bombing hospitals because that's where the military stuff is kept in there. The most
isn't the base of the IDF in urban Tel Aviv? Isn't that kind of embedded in?
Yes. Yeah.
So what's the difference between the IDF doing it and Hamas doing it?
Because Hamas is...
If Hamas are hiding in civilian areas, what's the difference between the IDF hiding in civilian areas?
They're not... They might be hiding in civilian areas. They're not hiding in civilian areas. The fact is...
Well, their bases are entrenched in urban areas, both of them.
This is so ridiculous when people say these things, because the British RAF, unfortunately, there were civilians killed in parts of Europe when we were trying to get rid of the Nazis. Unfortunately, when you are brave enough, as Israel are, to stand up against terror, to stand up for their sovereignty as a nation and to eradicate a terrorist organisation from the Middle East, which threatens us here in the West.
Yeah.
They are
Hamas
fighting
terrorists
for the
as well.
West. But if your only criticism of Netanyahu at the moment is the way that he's handled the comms on this, it seems like...
Well, no,
a
I
good
think
idea.
the real criticism is the family's created, the
Hamas have
people he's
created.
killed.
They're created because they're still at war. They are still at war. And
How many
created.
Hamas terrorists have they got versus innocent civilians?
It's not a question of balance.
They've got maybe 250 Hamas terrorists.
They are still
over
fighting.
50,000
What you need to remember, what the people of Britain needs to remember, Patrick, is the words, I'm a Jew, is the words never again. They're not going to put up with the stuff that my people, my family members sat through in Poland and in Russia and in all the Hungary and all the different countries. They're not going to put...
Any normal person agrees with you.
Yes,
But
and that's why
it doesn't justify 50,000 civilians.
Yes, it does.
You're saying that there's a justification of 50,000 civilians.
No,
You
first
just
of all,
did. Yes,
no,
you did.
I'm saying,
Yes, you did.
I will say this.
Hamas didn't kill them. The IDF killed them.
Israel has nuclear weapons, okay? And if you mess with Israel, and I don't think people even I don't know what, this doesn't sound that funny, but if you mess with Israel, okay? I mean, this is what they're thinking. And you know what I say? I say, never again. That's what
Every single life lost by innocent people caught up in this is completely at the hands of Hamas. They can end this war tomorrow and release the hostages.
All right, guys, we're going to have to whiz on. I mean, the other one there that I was able to touch on a little bit, we've not got time for it now, was the fact that Sir Starmer appears to be out on his backside here because Israel could cut security ties if Starmer recognises Palestine. Seemingly failing to, which would be a massive problem for Britain, a huge intelligence problem for Britain. But coming up, we do delve inside some of the papers. A surge in school absences could push nearly 180,000 pupils onto benefits, experts warn. I'm quite intrigued to see that because isn't that what you should expect if you don't bother to go to school? But anyway, stay tuned.
I forecast a perfect holiday in the sun.
Weather looking good then?
For sure, and no worries about our travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
Across northwest Africa and western parts of Iberia, another heat wave is set to continue this week. Temperatures pushing into the low 40s, particularly across inland areas. And with those high temperatures comes plenty of sunshine, particularly across Spain, parts of Italy and also parts of Greece. And those UV levels are set to be high, so do take care if you're heading out on holiday. And that weather is set to continue as we head over the weekend and into next week. That's it from me. Bye-bye.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
Hello there, good evening. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. As we head into tomorrow, it should be a brighter day for many. That's away from Scotland though. Blustery rain is set to continue, but where we do see any sunshine, it is going to be feeling warm. Back to this evening though, and there's still plenty of cloud out there, particularly where we see this cold front edging its way southeastwards, and plenty of isobars on the chart towards the north too, so a blustery end to the day and a blustery night to come, particularly across parts of Scotland. But elsewhere across England and Wales, much lighter winds, and it's likely we'll see quite prolonged clear skies at times, but outbreaks of quite heavy rain at times across northwestern Scotland set to continue. But what you will notice, it is set to be quite a mild night. Many towns and cities across the south not really dropping much past 14 to 15 degrees Celsius. Then to start off in the morning across Scotland, it is going to be unsettled. Still those blustery winds continuing, particularly around exposed coasts, and some quite heavy showers at times too. Once again, mainly across northern Scotland. Northern Ireland may pick up the odd shower or two, but across the rest of England and Wales, it should be mostly dry and bright. There may be some patchy cloud around, particularly across parts of Devon and Cornwall, parts of Wales and western areas of England, but that should lift and clear through the morning, leaving to plenty of sunny spells by the afternoon. But once again, a very different story across Scotland. Plenty of cloud here, some heavy outbreaks of rain and still those strong winds around exposed coastal sites. But elsewhere, England and Wales, plenty of sunshine, and temperatures will be up by a degree or two, so feeling warm. Highs of around 25, possibly even a localised 26 degrees Celsius. Heading into Saturday, once again, much of England and Wales will see a rather settled day, but we do have this system slowly edging its way southeastwards. Once again, it could be quite blustery here with some showery outbreaks of rain, but any showers largely fizzling away, so many of us seeing a dry and bright start to the weekend. And that theme is set to continue, and temperatures are on the up. Possible heatwave conditions early next week, but otherwise, that is it from me. Bye-bye.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What does she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace to Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
This is Britain's Newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
A surge in school absences could push nearly 180,000 pupils onto benefits, experts warn. New data shows more than 147,000 children in England were severely absent last autumn, meaning at least half their Really? They missed half of their classes. The Centre for Social Justice says the crisis could cost taxpayers 14 billion quid in the long run, presumably because it'll turn out to be thick and therefore on benefits and jobless and all of that stuff. This seems like a remarkable figure. I thought we were allowed to prosecute parents whose kids didn't go to school.
I think it's just rubbish.
You just don't believe it?
I think this figure that they've plucked out of air is based on the fact that these kids won't get GCSEs or A-levels or whatever, so then they'll just spend their life on benefits. I think lots of kids don't do that well at school, but then find quite good careers in technical apprenticeships.
Oh, so you're not just unclear, you're not disputing the fact that you think we made 150,000 kids.
I think
are not
this
in
conversion that the CSJ have come up with is just
See, when I go to schools as a counsellor and I talk to some of the kids and I say, "Are you enjoying school?" They all say no. They don't enjoy school anymore. They don't enjoy being told what their opinion should be. There's no freedom to express. I mean, I've got a 14-year-old in our area. You know, he got a detention at school for wearing a Reform UK pin. Yeah, he's got kids in his class with Palestine, LGBT, whatever. So I think schools become, for kids that want to go get, for kids that have their own brain, and for kids that have got families that encourage them to do things like sport and that, I think school's miserable for students.
I do wonder whether, I mean, for example, like, by the time that I left school, I hated it. But then I look back at it now and I realise, actually, that was very good and I enjoyed it and I miss it a little bit. Apart from one teacher that was incredibly dodgy and should probably have been in prison for his proclivities. However, he's dead now, so I can say that. Anyway, Lewis, you obviously never did a day's school in your life, and you've turned out well.
I wouldn't say. I came from a privileged background. I'm a privileged New York Jew. Of course I'm going to turn out well, but I haven't turned out as well as I should have. Nobody likes... No, here's the point. The point is, school in this country and in America is controlled by women. It's really... And the left. It's all a leftist brainwashing thing. And so that's why I'm against all school altogether. So if people don't go to school, I don't think they should go to school, even for
OK, all right, so we've veered into the territory now where now you don't think anyone should go to school.
They should not go to school, public school. There should be no public school. If people's parents want to pay for their kids to go to school, that puts a lot of impetus on the kid going to school and paying attention and appreciating it. But when you go to school and it's filled with some red-headed, leftist, laborite, trans person, pro-Palestinian thing...
I'm not trans.
Yeah.
What? I'm not trans. He was pointing. I'm not trans.
We don't know.
I'm not trans.
Are you not proud to be trans?
Well, someone on Twitter the other day did say Andy's beard is quite full. The only way you can get it is being on testosterone. So, you know, the allegation... I'm not transvestigated, to be fair.
There we go.
So, you know.
So firstly, I'll be honest with you, the standout figure for me was the fact that we've got that many children who are absent for that length of time. I find that very bizarre. I don't know. I just think maybe kids online as well now can, like, you know, they can see things like, you know, people getting a load of money off social media or gaming or all these things you don't really need a degree for. There we go. Let's move on, though, because the front of the Daily Mirror is... forget fat jabs. Forget weight loss jabs. Forget all of that. Now, there's a weight loss pill, isn't there? There you go. Well, not quite now, in a year or so. There's going to be a weight loss pill that you can get on the NHS, which apparently is going to do basically the same job as the fat jabs, but you don't have to inject yourself like a smackhead. So, would you take it?
I don't think I should. I lost weight the old-fashioned way, which is worrying. And I don't think you should take because we don't know what's going to happen. But people who are fat, okay, as I was fat.
In the break, you had a go at me for putting on weight.
Yes. Because you're stock and trade. The people see you. They go, oh, my God, he's so good looking. These guys don't care. But you guys, I mean, not care, but I'm just saying that they're not as good looking as you are. You're supposed to be good looking. And if you stop ever being good looking, your job is...
But fat can be beautiful, Lewis.
No, it can't be beautiful. It's ugly. It's unhealthy.
Very good.
It's really ugly. Guys will have sex with fat chicks.
Oh, great.
But they will because they're desperate nowadays. They're desperate. What's the alternative to that?
Wow.
Yes, exactly.
No, we move on from that. So, what do you make of
Why is that funny?
I think there's two things in this country which is causing people to be really overweight. Firstly, people are time poor. They are time poor, don't have time to make a nice meal, blah, blah, blah. The second problem we've got is people, unfortunately, need to just go to the gym more. They need to walk their dogs more. They need to lose weight how people always have, which is what you put in your mouth and what you do with your feet. That is literally how you lose weight. And you know, I'm no expert, I'm no guru, but...
You're naturally very skinny. You give off the vibes of someone with an incredibly high metabolism.
Well, I'm somebody that loves to exercise. I'm somebody that cares about what I eat. And by the way, I eat loads of rubbish. I was grabbing the biscuits with you in the break.
Yeah.
But let's be real. If you monitor what you're eating and you just make sure you eat nice stuff and treat yourself in moderation, that's the way to go.
Can someone just say that that's wrong? That people have been saying that for 50, 70, a lifetime, and it's wrong. It's not exercise. Exercise is bad for you. You should not be exercising.
There are some people that have a medical condition that does make it a bit harder to lose weight.
No,
I buy that. But the answer is not the taxpayer giving you a load of pills.
I need to... Okay, apparently... OK. I need to now clarify that exercise is not bad for you.
Exercise is
all
bad
right. So...
Exercise is good for you. I think just bring it back to the story. With this pill, you only lose 2 stone in 18 months. I thought the jab, you lost significantly more in 2 stone over 18 months isn't that...
I suppose like most things, it depends how many pills you take.
And it's also way cheaper.
I think, you know, for my advice of losing weight, you know, back a Marlboro Red and just drink liquor.
Yeah.
Like, if you drink, like, hard spirits, then the beer fat won't come on. That's my take.
I guarantee, if any of your viewers, I'm talking with my friends who have done this, you start walking for an hour a day, in 2 months, you will have lost weight.
All right, OK. So I've got a lot of...
I think you're the only sensible one.
I have got a lot of... That wasn't sensible.
That was a really kind advice from a caring local councillor that makes sure the pavements are good in this area.
This is not OK. I'm not a medical professional. This is not a lifestyle advice show, obviously. We're not medical professionals. And just if you thought anything sounded a bit dodgy there, then don't do it, right? OK, coming up, a Trump-Putin summit is back on the table and could be within days. Oh, yeah, I'll see you in a second if we're still here.
This is Britain's newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world. Am I allowed to talk now? No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more.
Whether it's breaking royal news, please bring us up to date, or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
isn't it? Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back. So a Trump-Putin summit is back on the table. Apparently it could happen within days. The Kremlin says a location's been agreed for talks with the US president just as his ceasefire deadline for Russia is set to expire on Friday. Trump says there's a very good prospect of meeting with both Putin and Zelensky to end the war, but he warns, I don't call it a breakthrough, I'm here to get the thing over with. Ukraine's president says that he's open to talks, but demands, quotes, bravery from Moscow, while Russia has left the idea of a three-way summit without comment. Despite looming US sanctions, Russian airstrikes continue. Let's go now to former strategic communications advisor to Pavlo Klimkin when he was Ukraine's foreign affairs minister. Remember him? It's Cormac Smith. Cormac, thank you very, very much. OK, so what do we know about this potential meeting? Do you see it taking place? Where do you see it taking place?
Patrick, hello. Nice to join you. Yeah, to answer your question, I think the answer is there's very little that we actually know. And, you know, I have been listening to so many people comment today, from John Bolton, Trump's former security advisor, who he's famously fallen out with, to Dmytro Kuleba, who was the former foreign minister of Ukraine, who I worked very closely with between 2016 and 2018 when I was out there. I'll tell you one thing we do know. The war is not going to end tomorrow, as per Donald Trump's deadline. What I can pick up is there's talk of a summit next week. What I think we can say with a certain amount of certainty is Vladimir Putin will not want Zelensky in that summit. He will want a bilateral between himself and Trump. This will not be acceptable to the Ukrainians, and we are getting sounds out of the White House, and there was a journalist on the New York Post who said today that a source in the White House had told her that Trump was putting a condition that Zelensky should be in those meetings. We really don't know. The other thing that I have pieced together today from the people I have been speaking to is the likely shape of the deal which Steve Witkoff has come back with. Now, listen to this carefully. This would be a freezing of the war on the current lines for between 49 and 99 years. This is not a peace. This is a ceasefire. That would be ceding de facto control to Russia, not de jure control. What I am being told is that the sweeteners for Ukraine may be EU membership, possible NATO membership, and also continuing arms supply. This, to me, would seem like a very, very bad deal for Ukraine, because the one thing that we know about Putin and the Kremlin in general from experience is that they always negotiate in bad faith, and they always, certainly when Ukraine is involved, they go on to break any promises or undertakings that they give. So it's up in the air. Nobody really knows what's going to happen, but we wait to see.
Well, gosh, Cormac, thank you very, very much. Another comprehensive answer there. So we will have to watch this space. I'm going to park it there because I just want to get my panel's reaction to what you just said. Cormac Smith, thank you very much. He was the former strategic communications advisor to Pavlo Klimkin when he was obviously Ukraine's foreign affairs minister. Right, OK, I mean, let's just drag it back here a little bit to Britain. I mean, Jamie, we want this war over, don't we, so our energy bills can come down.
Well, the war needs to be over because war raging in Europe is no good for anybody. I mean, in more than just the economic impacts. But I think actually what will be interesting about this meetup is Donald Trump's a businessman. He put a date. He put his name to a date. He's going to want something done. And I think actually it's a breath of fresh air having a politician actually making himself that accountable. So I think Donald Trump won't want to leave that meeting without some sort of way forward that's realistic and pragmatic. And actually I think Zelensky is coming round to the idea that obviously there's emotion attached to his country being invaded, but I think he's coming round to the idea that actually this has got to end. Too many lives are being lost.
Yeah, and I think Trump decided to show a little bit more force, didn't he? He moved some nuclear submarines towards Russian waters. I think he's provided Ukraine with a different type of missiles needed as well. So it appears that Putin has responded to that.
Is Putin afraid of America? I don't think. I love Donald Trump, but he's just Donald Trump in America, and America's over there. So, and Russia wants to win. If they can't win, they're going to be very unhappy. So, I mean, I think the problem is that Russia has lost like 1 million people of their own people. And what are they going to come away with? 80 miles of Ukrainian territory? It's not enough to make them happy.
Well, how do you see this going then, Andy?
I think he's obviously a big personality, Trump, and there's been various rumours about Putin kind of falling behind the scenes in the Kremlin. So I think it'll be an interesting dynamic to see him, because I assume Trump will want a live photo call. So I think it'll be interesting to see if the Putin illness rumours are true. But I think who knows how it's going to go? Because, we'll remember that J.D. Vance, Trump, Zelensky, just bizarre situation in the Oval Office where J.D. Vance was like, have you said thank you? Why don't you wear a suit? That wasn't exactly the most friendly interaction. So I do genuinely wonder what it'll be like to see the dynamic between Trump and Putin.
What I think is very interesting is when Donald Trump first came into office, everyone was saying World War III is going to start, it's going to be outrageous. Now you're seeing a very compassionate president trying to stop men being killed, mainly men and women, of course, as well. Actually, it seems like he's going to be the president that's going to bring peace in all the parts of the world that are on fire.
I wouldn't.
I do think there's a lot of people who say that they want peace, but they don't want President Trump to be the one who can say that he's brokered it. And I think would be perfectly content to allow a war to carry on for another few years, and however many deaths and whatever that leads to, just so that they couldn't. I mean, if I'm looking at the Daily Mirror, their top right-hand corner is Trump's meet with Putin is about his ego, not Ukraine.
I think it does. I think a serious point is, what does peace mean? If he agrees to ceasefire, but Russia have taken 80 miles of Ukraine, is that appropriate? Does that set a good precedent that you can kill 1 million of your own people and you can nick 80 million off another country? I don't think that's a good outcome.
Do you think that Putin is going to want to be put in the same situation that Cambodia and Thailand were put in this kind of thing? It's like a child. Putin thinks he's as big as America, or wants to be perceived as that Russia is as big as America.
They are.
And they are. They are.
What I always think of is the Russian and the Ukrainian mothers. What would they want right now? They want their sons back. That can't happen, but they can save another Ukrainian mother or Russian mother from the same agony.
And on that point, I think we'll knock it on there. We've covered a huge range of front pages for Friday, which means if you are watching us in the morning on the repeat of this show, that breakfast show is going to be an absolute stonker, isn't it? They've got a heck of a lot to go at. Thank you to my wonderful panel. Always great to have you all on the show. Well, look, Lewis, we survived another night.
Yeah, we did.
Survived.
Did I say anything horrible?
Forget about it. You can read about it in Disability Weekly tomorrow, probably. But
don't mention them.
That's right. It's like that. That's one for the fans. Right, OK. But don't forget as well, you can stay with us all day, not just on TV, but on your radio and your smart speaker. Just go and shout at it. Say, play GB News on TuneIn. That is it from us. Thank you so much. Take care. If you're watching in the morning, enjoy breakfast.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good evening. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. As we head into tomorrow, it should be a brighter day for many. That's away from Scotland though. Blustery rain is set to continue, but where we do see any sunshine, it is going to be feeling warm. Back to this evening though, and there's still plenty of cloud out there, particularly where we see this cold front edging its way southeastwards, and plenty of isobars on the chart towards the north too, so a blustery end to the day and a blustery night to come, particularly across parts of Scotland. But elsewhere across England and Wales, much lighter winds, and it's likely we'll see quite prolonged clear skies at times, but outbreaks of quite heavy rain at times across northwestern Scotland set to continue. But what you will notice, it is set to be quite a mild night. Many towns and cities across the south not really dropping much past 14 to 15 degrees Celsius. Then to start off in the morning across Scotland, it is going to be unsettled. Still those blustery winds continuing, particularly around exposed coasts, and some quite heavy showers at times too, once again mainly across northern Scotland. Northern Ireland may pick up the odd shower or two, but across the rest of England and Wales, it should be mostly dry and bright. There may be some patchy cloud around, particularly across parts of Devon and Cornwall, parts of Wales and western areas of England, but that should lift and clear through the morning, leaving to plenty of sunny spells by the afternoon. But once again, a very different story across Scotland. Plenty of cloud here, some heavy outbreaks of rain, and still those strong winds around exposed coastal sites. But elsewhere, England and Wales, plenty of sunshine, and temperatures will be up by a degree or two, so feeling warm. Highs of around 25, possibly even a localised 26 degrees Celsius. Heading into Saturday, once again, much of England and Wales will see a rather settled day, but we do have this system slowly edging its way southeastwards. Once again, it could be quite blustery here with some showery outbreaks of rain, but any showers largely fizzling away, so many of us seeing a dry and bright start to the weekend. And that theme is set to continue, and temperatures are on the up. Possible heatwave conditions early next week, but otherwise, that is it from me. Bye-bye.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Let us take on some of your financial stresses and pay your mortgage or rent for the next 12 months. We want to give you a cash lump sum equivalent to 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, up to an unbelievable £20,000. We'll also boost that by a further £5,000, so you really could have some fun in the coming year. For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world. Am I allowed to talk now? No, that's it. This is where it matters. Real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
isn't it?
no,
Because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes and Co weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good evening and welcome to Farage with me, your host tonight, Martin Daubney. Coming up on tonight's show, earlier today, the first illegal Channel migrants were detained under the UK's returns deal with France. We've got the latest images as the so-called crackdown begins. Also on tonight's show, new research seen exclusively by GB News is now tracking